Oh yeah. Just get on board. Hear me now. People, get ready for the train a coming, picking up passengers from coast to coast. All you need is a little faith, hear the diesel humming. Don't need no ticket, just get on board. People, get ready for the train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and board up. There's room for all among those loved the most. I believe, oh I believe, I believe, oh yeah, yeah, I believe, I believe. Oh, you don't need no ticket to just get on board. Hear me now. There ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save it alone, save it alone. A pity on those chances grow slimmer, for there's no hiding place against the kingdom's throne. So people.
Two, three, four.
I was born by the river in a little tent, and oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard to live it, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause who knows what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming. I know, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. And then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please. And he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Whoa, there've been times that I thought, whoa, I wouldn't last too long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming. gonna change. It's gonna change. Oh, yes, it will.
Popcorn world. Popcorn world. Yeah. Popcorn world. Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in a bag of a can. I can make it round the world with the holes in your hand. Popcorn world. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn world. Popcorn world. Popcorn world.
What's that saying? Oh, breaking down the room, I'm slowing down. Speaking for the people who must go around. Taking truth to power with the whisper and the shout. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, talking noise. Hey, yeah. Say it again, say we're talking noise. Yeah, talking noise. Really don't have to fool around. Never noise keeps us under. From truth divine. The sign that you need is a sign of success. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, talking noise. Yeah, picking up all the same. We're talking noise. Oh yeah. Talking noise. Say it again. We're talking noise.
Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
We're talking noise. Talking noise. We're talking noise. Talking noise. We're talking noise. Talking noise.
Two, one, ready, come on.
Not getting high, son. Not getting high, son.
You've been working so hard.
Making away when you can.
Every lady on.
Good time.
You can't get lost if you ain't got no job.
Good time. Good time.
Yeah.
We're lucky we got 'em.
You should have got your name.
What's going on, people? You know you're in a good mood when you start out like that. I tell you, there's no way not to be in a good mood when you start out like that. Al B.
Hanging in the child line.
She gonna hang in that child line, ain't she? She did. While she just determined.
Just wrong.
But she's wrong and proud though. She ain't like
Wrong.
she don't back down from the wrongness. She embraces the wrongness fully.
Hey,
I ain't even mad at her. I can even be mad at somebody that embraces the
some
wrong.
people hang in jobs, some people hang in a child line.
That's right. That's fair. Where's my loving wife at? Is she there?
She hanging in a child line.
We ain't got no child line. That's the thing that's throwing me off. We gonna have it later. I'm about to go get some food and stuff, but we ain't got no actual challenge. I guess she's coming at some point. So you know what? Maybe she's waiting on the official call to worship. And if that's the case, I can respect that. So let me not delay what needs to happen here, Albie. Let me get you on deck here and get our official call to worship going. Uh-oh.
Brothers and sisters
Yes.
of all shapes, sizes,
Yeah.
and skin tones. We beg now that you come in. Come. Grab
on.
a pew, grab your fan and your bulletin. Help us make some noise. If you so desire to make noise, feel free to make noise.
Yes.
Come. Let's worship today on this beautiful Thursday in the house of noise.
Amen.
And she did come. Oh, look at Mama Noise.
Perfect timing, Mama Noise. All right, organ player, that's enough. Jesus.
Is her lipstick matching her attire? Is that like a black tone?
You muted Mama Noise.
That is espresso.
Come on, Mama Noise. Look at you. Come through this.
I just feel like any moment now you're gonna go, Marcus, darling.
Marcus.
Why are you doing that? Why are you doing
Lady Eloise.
You call me the old lady from Boomerang?
No, I'm not calling you old or nothing like that.
That's the old lady from Boomerang.
No,
Oh, okay.
you took that
Wow.
wrong. You wait a minute.
The old sugar mama from Boomerang.
You
didn't take it. That's how you dished it out. You better fix it, bro.
Let me just say this.
Wow.
That wasn't an insult in my mind. Because I know, because Eartha Kitt is beautiful. So I didn't see it that way. I'm sorry.
You
Let me
already
back
put
up.
me up there with Eartha Kitt?
No, I'm not. Oh, God. I blew that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me rewind. Zip. You look regal, is what I was trying to say, Mama Noise. You look beautiful and regal.
Now,
I don't need your help, Al. I don't need your help with this one.
yeah,
I got this.
bro. No, I want some clarity on regal.
Mama Noise, you look regal. You look like a queen, is what I was saying. I wasn't, because I remember how she looked elegant and regal and very queenly. Please come back to the screen. That was in my head. I heard it. Please don't take it like that. It wasn't
old
like
ass Eloise.
That's not what. That's not what.
That's some shameful stuff right there. That's the way we start the show. I mean,
okay, let's start over. Wait a minute. Let's start over.
we done had to call to worship. Al gives me a compliment, and my own husband.
And it came out wrong. It came out all the way wrong.
Well, I can expect that Jay will come on and say something too. So,
oh my God! I'm so sorry. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. It just came out wrong. You look beautiful. I'm not. It wasn't. Listen, you look beautiful. You ought to know I think you look beautiful, as evidenced by the beautiful, wonderful fellowship we had in Bible study this morning.
Well, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna think you. You need to think it through a little bit before you.
I will.
He cleaned it up.
Yeah, it was. I heard it differently in my head, and once it came out, I was like, "You can't pull that back in." And
my sister.
But you look amazing. That's what I was trying to say. I should just.
Man.
Sometimes when you get too creative, you throws off the whole thing. So I apologize.
Yeah. That was part of the funny. You was looking for the funny.
No, I wasn't. That time I was not looking for the funny. I just clearly.
Oh, you meant it. You meant you didn't.
No, it's Al. Really, don't need you on this one, brother. I don't need you on this one at all. We are good. I promise.
You know, right now you channeling Martin Lawrence was like to
right.
He's like
Mike, bring me a Coke, Mike. Bring me a Coke.
Y'all need some counseling. I heard a thing about this, man. If you don't get out,
Dad, I don't need your help either.
We
good. We good, bro. We good. Y'all all just
oh my gosh.
Slipping the lip. We good. You know, players F up sometimes. We got it. We straight.
Players.
Oh man. Okay. Everybody good? Al, you doing good? How you feeling?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Missed you, Al.
Yeah, we missed you on the 5 and on the show. On the 5.
Oh yeah.
Mainly on the 5.
I don't know why. I'm like, man, I'm like the girl that just keeps going back to the habitual cheater. You know, me going to Louisville games. It's like you expect something different and you get the same result.
You got sucked in last night? Somebody said.
I went to the game, and, man. It was just another night of disappointment.
You really believe, don't you?
You know, they give you just enough to have a little hope, and then you're like, that's what I remember.
This is where you and I are not the same, because once I've broken up with you, that's it.
Yeah. It was disappointing. But yesterday, it was a great subject. I got to listen in and listen to Sister Louise.
Lori?
What was the last name? Wasn't it Diaz?
Lori Diaz? Yeah.
I was combining both of them. Luis Diaz.
Well, I won't lie to you. Yesterday's show was different. It was I was shocked at how it elevated from one thing to another. I realized just how special this podcast is after yesterday, because we were having a real discussion about planning and death. And then
I mean, to have a video, because I think she said she had one person to do that, to have a video of the person that is alive and in their right mind saying of what they want.
It wasn't like his closing remarks or something she said.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was like, wow.
To just put that up on the PowerPoint and say, well, I guess if you're watching this video, then I've already kicked the bucket, you know.
I don't think that's what she said he did, but that's Mama Noiz's interpretation.
That is my interpretation. I mean, we saw it on the Avengers. That's what Iron Man did. If you're watching this, then it must be they've already gone.
Wow. Well, it was a good show, and that part was really good. And we had some people from the Lords. They were there with us, and I don't know if they'll ever come back at this point, but
especially the way that show turned.
But somehow we transitioned from that lovely topic to candle vagina, and it just went off the rails from there. It was just
when that happened. Like what happened?
We were talking about the Super Bowl commercials.
We were talking with Cuz Noise.
That's
too.
my point. That's my point.
And so, matter of factly, we had Sora Tara in the chat that met Cuz Noise with the same energy when he began to talk about the candle. It was an Uber Eats commercial from the Super Bowl. From the Super Bowl. And so the Uber Eats commercial was talking. Some people were saying it was one of the worst commercials out of the whole Super Bowl because it was showing people eating all these things that were not edible to show people that Uber Eats delivers stuff more other than just food. Right. So Gwyneth Paltrow is there holding her candle. That's her vagina candle. And so she bites down on the candle.
Let's just say her product.
Her product named vagina candle. Right. So she bites down on the product on the candle. And I'm like, okay, did she just bite down on the candle? And then Jay was like, I never heard of this. And the slope just went from there.
It was bad.
Because Lloyd pulled up each candle to show us the names of the candles.
You know, Jay to me is like, and I'll say it again when and if he shows up. He's like Mr. Clark, Joe Clark.
Oh yeah.
When he was on top of the building with Sam's. And you know, you're on the edge, and oftentimes we on the edge, and Jay's that one principle. Go ahead.
Smoke crack, don't you?
Jump. Jump. He practically pushes us off the cliff. I mean, off the
Oh my gosh. That is facts.
A few times I feel like he grabbed my hand and we jumped over together like Thelma and Louise.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's wildly entertaining though. So I can't really be that mad at it. It's wildly entertaining.
Oh my gosh. It was so wildly, it went even wilder. I was so shocked at because I think Lloyd apologized to the one reverend who was a part of the funeral. Because by that time they were talking about why women need to have what was the word? Like manscaping for men. Why do women have to have a totally?
We're just gonna relive it. Is that what we're doing now?
I was just trying to give, trying to give Al a
recap.
A recap. That's all.
You're so sweet.
I'm sorry. I'll be.
It's
quiet.
on video, you know.
I'll be quiet.
We recorded it
in perpetuity.
She may have come back today, but then we start the day with the same thing.
No. I don't want it.
Sometimes
we had enough for one day.
You know, you say you don't want it, but I'm looking at you and I'm saying maybe you do want it. I know you want me. No. Why are we both in black? Did you lay out my clothes and I just put on black today? Is that what happened?
No, you were already with Charlie and
LaFonso Ellis, which was
Charlie
a lot of fun. LaFonso Ellis is in a phenomenal interview. Let me just tell you.
Yeah.
And once again, because I feel it's my responsibility to help this guy out. It's LaFonso.
I don't know how many times your co-host referred to him as Alfonso mistakenly.
I'm just saying. The man's name is LaFonso. His mama called him LaFonso. Everybody called him LaFonso.
LaFonso.
Oh my gosh.
It ain't Alfonso. Black people always want to change it to something else. I don't like it.
We do. We will modify in a moment.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you LP. LP for short. LP.
That's true.
Just the disrespect to the man's name. Can it be great, please?
Oh, it was funny though.
But anyway,
yeah,
he was good. He was really, really good. Really, really good. So, all right. So I'm ready to get into something else today. And this is a little more serious, obviously. So we will have some fun with that. Fun, but serious topic today. And then also just the FYI, this weekend, we're going to have some more fun. I'm floating around something for Saturday that we've done. We do quite often on this show, but we haven't done a good one in a while. But I'm not going to mention it today. I'll mention it tomorrow. So you got to pull up for tomorrow's show to see what it is. Next week, not this week. I know some people thought it was this week. It's not this week. It's next week. Is the VNR Supper Club. So it's next week. Just FYI. 26. Is there anything else announcement wise I need to do right this minute, Mama Noise? No? Are we good? We good? Okay. All right. So I got a video from Cuz, and this was safe. I want to start with that. This one is a safe video.
I appreciate that. I felt my blood pressure.
I listen. Don't we all? But it's interesting. It's a very short video, so I want to show a little bit of that. And
oh no.
What? What's the problem?
Please step away from the edge.
Here we go.
You black people, we tired of frying chicken to bury you. Now, you got all them purses and all that gold and all that hair and all them cars and all them rims and all them belt buckles, but then when it come time to go to the dentist, you need a prayer meeting? You have no business with a Louis Vuitton purse and a cavity. I don't care what you say. get the cavity fixed, and then go get a Michael Kors. Do something with your life. Now, if you want a pastor, let me know. If you want me to just come up here and make you happy, we got to get a structure for our life. Some stuff you don't need to pray about. You just need a structure. I don't have to pray to pay my bills. I got a structure. I pray for stuff like, Lord, let my mama have long life. I pray, Lord, make sure these cars don't hit me when I'm on the road. Lord, make sure lightning don't strike the house. Lord, make sure I got my prayer set up for stuff that my structure can't handle.
Interesting conversation. Interesting message. Well, before we get back to the conversation, cuz, where in the world are you?
Look like Snoop Dogg's garage, haze and all that.
Are you allowed?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I'm over in Las Colinas.
Oh, that's the
You're
affluent
always
area.
home.
Sipping on gin and juice.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, really?
I knew Snoop was involved somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Are you en route or are you just arriving?
No, I'm arrived. I'm here.
Okay.
So
like he doing a drug deal.
This what you just say, Albie?
I didn't say nothing, sir.
Okay. So those of you that are in the DFW area, you know a line of storms came through last night. And
I didn't know
might
that.
have slept through it. You didn't
I
even
slept through
recognize
that.
what was going on around you.
That's true.
World could be ending and y'all asses tumbling in the bed. I don't
Sleep right on through.
But anyway,
Because we got structure.
I
Don't need to be awake for the world to end.
I mean,
I got up this morning to take my wife to work because I didn't want her out there on those roads with that storm coming through. So I'm sitting out in the parking lot now while she's at work.
All day.
You gonna sit out there all day?
I'm a firm believer as a nigga has to do what a nigga has to do.
Hey, man.
Wow.
Damn it. Salute you.
Listen. You just went up high on my pick a nigga meter.
God damn.
That's impressive.
You sit there all day.
All right.
No. I don't have to sit here all day. She had two different sites she had to go to. One we had to be at 6 o'clock this morning, so we left the house at 3 this morning. No, 3:30. And then now we're at a different site. And then we will go home here probably about 12 o'clock. Should be done for the day.
Should be done for the day. Wow.
But I'm just sitting out here waiting on her. That's all I'm doing.
Well, you look cool. Let me just start by that. You look cool. You look like you've been smoking that shit. I gotta tell you, because it's very hazy. You know,
he looked like he's in South Dallas. Is where he looked like the way he peeking over his shoulder. Yeah, like you know.
Are you in danger? Any danger in any way? Are you in a safe area?
I am not in South Dallas.
Yeah, Los Colinas is not a dangerous area. Well,
it's an affluent area.
Yeah, Los Colinas is not dangerous per se.
Not at all.
You turn the car around so you're facing you got your back to everybody.
Yeah.
You're trying to show us where
you're
you're
looking over his shoulder because somebody can walk up behind him.
That's because I was asleep. I have these here shades on not to try to look cool. I look cool regardless. You understand what I'm saying? My vertigo's been acting up the last couple of days, so I just want it to be kind of.
Well, why are you driving?
That was gonna be my next question.
Because I was very clear. A nigga must do what a nigga must do to take care
Oh,
of his family. And I feel much more comfortable driving my wife in that type of storm. It was a storm this morning. My knuckles were white this morning, and I'm dark as hell.
But
through all of
Opal
that.
must be a piss poor driver if her chances of survival are greater with you and vertigo.
I
I'm just saying.
No,
I was thinking the same
no,
thing.
she's actually very good at it, but you know, I don't sleep well when she's out there in those storms and things going on. So I have to be
Well, that's
able to
fine
take
though.
care
But
of my
get your
wife.
ass in the passenger seat. You all loopy.
No. I can handle my business.
Lloyd, go get him. Take his old ass home.
I'm still stuck on you driving and you got the vertigo going in full swing. I'm still lost on that. Like
It's not in full swing.
okay.
oh, thank the
I just
Lord.
I just don't feel as good as I could feel, but it's not in full swing.
Gotcha.
Okay, all right.
You know what it is,
Now that
Lloyd. Go ahead.
Now that we've discussed my medical condition and broke all the HIPAA laws, let's move on.
We didn't break nothing. You're disgusting. We
You
didn't break
divulge that information. And plus,
Facts.
we know the truth. A ninja got to do what a ninja got to do.
Ninja gotta do that. Ninja gotta
Saturday
do.
coming.
You damn right we do.
When Saturday
I don't mind
comes,
I don't mind.
so will I.
Would y'all tell that man to stop?
No, I'm singing an ode to you. Listen
He's
to the
giving you
lyrics.
the Daryl Cooley
I'm
hip
giving you.
hop rhythm and blues version.
Yeah, I'm giving you an ode. When Saturday comes, so will you.
Don't mess up when Sunday comes. Don't do that.
That is one of my favorites.
Don't mess up that song.
I'm trying to bless y'all. That's all right. It was something I was going to ask you. Just that. So the storms was that bad? I slept through all that. Was it, Mama Noise? Did you hear the storms?
I ain't hear ne'er a drop.
Maybe it wasn't that bad in our area.
What time did they go through?
Did you know storms were scheduled to come through?
No.
I thought the storms was scheduled for today.
Shit.
I heard rain. That's all I heard.
Yeah, I heard rain, but I didn't know.
It was late last night, early morning. So we was on the road at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and it was rocking and rolling.
Oh, I know. I turned over at that time, I'm sure.
Wow, I didn't. Man,
I went back to sleep,
that, bro.
Got me looking, see what direction they going.
Yeah, I slept through all that, bro. Well, I'm glad you.
It's coming your way. It's coming
It
your way.
always does. We always get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming your way.
Well, I'm glad.
We had high winds this morning, but probably later this afternoon.
Yeah. And Noisemakers, we'll get back to the thing. Y'all know y'all like what y'all introduce the thing. Y'all gonna get back to we'll get back to it in a minute. But that's Cuz. We gotta make sure Cuz is all right.
Is that Shaquille O'Neal's old baby mama husband?
What?
The pastor, Kavion Henderson. Ain't that her
Is that who that is?
That's her financing. I mean,
Black people, we tired of finding chicken to bury you.
That's him.
Now, you got all them purses and all that gold and all that hair and all them cars and all them rims and all them belt buckles, but then when it come time to go to the dentist, you need a prayer meeting? You have no business with a Louis Vuitton purse and a cavity. I don't care what you say.
First of all, that's a fantastic line. A Louis Vuitton purse and a cavity is a great line.
No business.
You need to hush.
Get your cabin filled and
leave them women alone.
Do you don't agree, Mama Noise?
Not all of it. Right, she's a first lady now. Shaquille O'Neal baby mama is a first lady now. I don't know when they get married, but she's engaged to him. I don't know when the wedding's taking place, but she's engaged to the pastor.
Okay, well, is she ain't the first lady yet?
She about to be.
Well, listen, about to be a lot.
She's his queen
Until she said I does.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true. Because if she has to wait as long as Bishop Noel Jones is financing, what was it, 20 years?
Something like that, 28, something like that.
Why you keep saying financing?
Oh, what is it? Fiance. Okay.
Yeah.
Fiance, 20 years.
She's the first alternate, Stephon says. She's not quite there yet.
Wow. First alternate.
What do you think about what he said? Do you agree?
Do we have a good connection or a bad connection? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Anytime
Like
you
bit
on,
choppy.
it's a good connection.
You hear that? You hear that noise, Mama Noise?
I hear a slight Okay. Okay. No, they told me not to say nothing.
Flies.
Something's wrong with this show. It really is. I don't know what has happened, but it's different, man. Did you move the truck or something, or what? Or you just moved the camera?
I just popped the camera up. What's the problem?
Nothing. I mean, if you like being underwater, then I'm with it. Let's roll with it.
See, I said just a little bit of growly.
Man.
I mean, it sounds nice.
Start you out, homie.
Okay.
All right. The best part about the video is you putting your finger in there like that, like your finger in the camera is,
He's trying to clean the lens.
For those who are listening by podcast, you don't get the full gist of it, but if you're watching it, it's just a treat because
it's hilarious.
Howard cuz his finger, and they don't tell him where that finger's been.
I'm not trying to.
I'm not trying to what?
I'm not trying to clean the lens. I was trying to make the connection better.
Okay.
Oh, that'll do it for sure.
Do y'all remember that character in the 80s called Max Headroom? And he'd be stuttering and shit. And then,
Yeah.
You're like the black Max Headroom right now, is what you are.
Wow.
Wasn't that from a beverage company?
It was Coca-Cola. It was cold.
Well, I didn't want to throw no names out there.
Listen, they don't have that product anymore. It was a new Coke. That shit didn't work, just like Jay's Connection.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. It wasn't. Wow, really?
Hey, I sympathize because, I be mobile and my connection be trash.
Uh-oh, I think it's time for Opal to go. He look like he's on the move.
He trying to find...
Are you trying to find a better spot?
I'm trying to get
Can you hear me now?
to a better spot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You talking about Opal's on the move.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Well, listen, while you get in a better spot, I'm gonna open up the congregational Bible study and say this is an interesting topic for me because this whole black people need to do this over that is interesting, and it makes me wonder where we are as black people. Have we overcome poverty? Are we still overcoming poverty? Are we better than we think we are? Do we know how to overcome poverty as a community anymore? Do we know how to get it out the mud, as the kids say?
Mm-hmm.
Are blacks making progress?
Oh.
That's what we're talking about today. Are black people making progress at all? Why are you laughing?
Chad said, "Cuz need to go to Starbucks, find him a location where he can get good Wi-Fi."
Surely this nice building that he's driving by has some better.
Sure, this nice building.
About Wi-Fi possibilities. Come on,
Oh
man.
my
It's a
gosh.
hospital. You don't think a hospital got good Wi-Fi?
Maybe not.
What I'm gonna tell you what the Wi-Fi problem is where Cuz is right now. He keeps parking away from the building.
Possibly.
If he would park closer to the building, he'd probably get a better Wi-Fi connection.
But have you noticed when he flips the camera?
Yeah.
Look at the imagery. Cuz, why don't you just get you a phone?
No,
Why?
it works just fine.
No, it don't. Look at that. You see what you look
That's
like to us.
because I can see it. It's
And then flip the camera.
That's because the lens is broken.
We know that. We've seen your phone. We know that it's all shattered.
Oh
We
my
had
God.
this conversation 2 months ago.
He said we talked about this.
Right, we did talk about it. Flip the camera. Point it back out the window.
So
You see how clear and beautiful that view is?
Yes.
That's how we would like to see you, Ninja.
Well, see, his little computer screen is fluttering,
It
so
does
that.
that. Whenever you point a camera at a digital, it'll do that.
Oh, I've learned something new today.
Yeah, try recording your television.
Oh
They
snap!
say you on that Nokia. That flip
Wow.
phone. Why don't you just hook us up to your screen right there, and then we be all up on your screen?
He don't know. He hasn't figured that out yet.
that sounds
Metro
that sounds
PCS.
too much like technology.
Okay, touche. Stephon said that Dave Ramsey said you got no business buying new stuff if you don't own your own home or a car or have debt. You're not allowed to buy new stuff if you don't own your own home or your own car or have debt. You
Well,
should
we
be
all
buying
got
new
debt,
stuff.
so that you know, you got to have all three.
That's what Dave said. Stop buying new phones before you buy a new house and a new
I just
car.
want to know who put Dave in charge. Where did he come from? Just come out of nowhere, and now he the boss of everybody's money.
You the boss of everybody's money?
I mean, everybody like
He has become an authority.
you remember
over
E.F.
finance
Hutton?
in America.
I'm dating myself. When they would say E.F. Hutton says, okay,
And everybody would hush and
be like, what'd he say?
Now it's Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey said you should be. Everybody like, for real? Dave
I
said
just
it.
want to know what exactly has Dave Ramsey done for black people? What?
Wow.
Because I have yet to see him show up anywhere.
Why so much Dave Ramsey vitriol?
I just want to know. I'm just trying to figure it out because we always think that is it only that we got to look to white people to know that they doing money right. We can't look to none of our people that can be doing money right.
Okay, but my devil's advocate to that is, what if he's telling you what's right, even though he ain't necessarily pro-black as you trying to say, but
one of my favorite shows is American Greed, and almost all of them are white.
okay.
So I'm saying, so can't it be no black people that know something about finances and can help people other than Dave Ramsey?
They can, but they're not, maybe, where are they at? I ain't heard no black people say this is how you do it.
Oh, okay. That's I know what Dave Ramsey is, the Christian dude, and that's why we know so much about him, right?
He's a Christian. I think he is a Christian, professing Christian.
Okay.
But does that matter? I mean, the information doesn't necessarily have to be Christian, does it?
No, it doesn't. I'm just trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out how he all of a sudden got in charge.
He got in charge because people implemented what he told them to do, and it worked for them.
right.
Oh.
That's how he got charged.
I believe he was a millionaire at the age of 20 something.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that.
So
Yeah, there you go. Andy Bruce said people follow results. That's it.
I believe
It worked.
his net worth is well over 150 million or so. He know the trick of the trade.
Oh, okay.
He's debt free. So you listen. You listen to somebody who's
Is he?
Yeah. Do you want? Go ahead.
The thing is, his key to success is sacrifice. And we as colored people, we feel like we sacrificed enough, and we don't want to sacrifice again. And that's why a lot of us don't buy in to those methods. Although it's proven to work.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just like our topic today, Reverend Pastor Bishop Elder Henderson, whatever his
Kevion
yeah,
Henderson.
whatever
Let's
his
go with Keon.
Okay.
you know, we'd rather go out and buy the Louis Vuitton, the Gucci belts, the Balenciago shoes, and we'd rather do that than sacrifice. We'd rather live and just I made the comment yesterday. I was dropping off a student in an apartment complex. And in that apartment complex, I think the average rent is around $1,100-$1,200 a month.
Mm.
There was a woman getting her child out of the car, unloading groceries out of a Range Rover.
Okay.
$60,000, $75,000 vehicle.
Where she could probably own her home if she changed the priority.
So, structure. We don't want structure.
Well, Woody Harrelson told us this in White Men Can't Jump. The black men want to look good and score second and win second, rather than white men want to win first and look good second.
Wow.
And that sounded like a basketball lesson he was giving, but he may have been giving us a life one. Because black people want to look good. We want to look like we got something, or we got it going on.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see Mark Cuban, and he's at every Mavericks game in a t-shirt and jeans.
Well, because we've been told that we fake it till we make it. And, they don't.
And guess what, Mama Noise? I don't have no problem with that. But the problem with the concept is we ain't making it.
Well, I think that we don't talk
a
about
lot of time faking it and no time making it.
we out buying scrimps and lobster tails and caviar. Warren Buffett driving through McDonald's buffet, getting a cheeseburger and a Coke.
That's probably because he done already lived a good life, and he figured at this point, and he's just on Skid Row at this point. He's just chilling at this point, and just
your thought process might be part of the problem.
Marcus,
no,
your thought process might be part of the problem because we don't have any form of delayed gratification. We don't have it. We want what we want.
Or we've been in delay for so long. We in.
That's what I was getting at. We feel like we've been downtrodden and cast aside for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to wait anymore.
I've been cast aside and laid aside too long.
Okay, so what are you waiting on at this point for your breakthrough? Are you waiting for somebody to hand you something? Because if that's what you're waiting on, you're gonna be waiting a long time.
I don't think we're waiting on somebody to hand you nothing.
Okay, we ain't putting no plans together. So what are we waiting on?
We got plenty of plans.
We have plans. I'm talking about black culture as a whole.
Okay.
Do we have plans? What are our plans? I heard no plans.
Well,
what's our plan? Black Lives Matter.
Some individuals have plans. I got some friends that have a company that's going around buying and restoring homes in the west side of Louisville. That's their plan. And then they just bought another, they're buying properties and stuff like that to try to help restore the black community. Okay. So there are people that are doing it.
So individually, we have plans as black people. Do we have a plan collectively to bring each other out? Because I haven't heard that plan yet. Andy Bruce said had an old black coworker tell me blacks would drive $8,000 car living to that. That's true. That's true. You cannot get invited to the table if you don't look the part as black people. Images, everything. First of all, Shake Anderson, you're supposed to be in this building right now. So click the link. And then second of all, I think you might be right. I would love to see a better black plan for progress. Now, here's some things that we don't realize. The black poverty thing is not as bad as it used to be. And I pulled up an article, a very interesting article called Black Progress, How Far We've Come and How Far We Have to Go.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back to 1940, 6% of employed black women worked as domestic servants. And today, that number is down to 2.2%. While 6% of those same black women or black women today hold white collar jobs.
Mm-hmm.
White collar jobs. In 1958, 44% of whites said they would move if a black family became their next door neighbor. Today, according to this research, that number is down to 1%.
Lies.
Well, listen, I'm just going by the data. That could be true that it is lies. I don't know. It's 1964, the year of the Civil Rights Act. 18% of whites claimed to have a friend who was black. Today, 86% say they do, while 87% of blacks assert that they have white friends.
I can't help but get that song out of my mind. If a black friend looks like Michael Jackson.
I'm gonna move past that. I'm not gonna. Everybody's calling it lies. I don't know if these are lies. Somebody did the research. They got
Who did the research? That is the question.
Well, that is the question. This article says, for instance, today more than 30% of black men, nearly 6% of black women hold white collar jobs, whereas in 1970 only that was 2.2% of American physicians were black. The figure is now 4.5% are black physicians. Fraction of black families with middle class income rose from 40% between 1940 and 1970. It's inched up only about 10 points since then. So maybe 50% are in the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
So are we making progress? Is it better than we think it is? Or are we just, or are the numbers not accurate? Are the numbers, because they're not really truly polling all of it? Because this same article also says that 30% of black families still live below the poverty line. 30%.
I would say that's accurate.
You think it's only 30%? Because if there's 12 million black people in America, which I don't know if that's true. That number might be off, but
you think it's a little low?
I feel like it is. I don't believe that it's only 12 million black people in America. I feel like there might be 12 million people that answered the census call.
Oh, that's what we're going on?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
I don't believe it's 12 million black people.
I don't remember the last time I seen a census person.
Well, I filled out the
It's
census
all by mail now.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I received anything from the census.
I remember growing up, they used to come knock on your door.
Right.
And that's another thing. That's a great point Anthony Bruce just made. He said, what you make and what you own and control are two different things. White collar job means nothing if you waste the money. We will have arrived when 13.4% of all things are black. 12% of America is I would say being black is probably accurate.
According to the 2019 census, it's loading.
Oh my gosh.
46.8 million blacks in the U.S.
46.8.
Yep.
Okay, so let's work off that number. Let's just work off that number because that's probably a good place to start this conversation. Do we have a viable plan for black people for that 46.8 million to get that 40, because based on what you just read, 46.8 million, and if 30% of that number is below the poverty line, that's what, 14 million? Right around 14 million? That's a lot of people below the poverty line. 14 million people below the poverty line. And that's not counting how many actual black people are in America. Because the poverty line is definitely being affected by the people who aren't on this, aren't included in being counted in this 46.8 million. That's where the actual number or effect on America is being felt in the people that didn't answer the census call. So are we making progress? Is the question. Are we our own fault? Because number one, we won't answer the census. So we don't know what we're working with. Number two, we don't have a real viable plan or for change. You know, we've been talking about that all week. Not starting a movement, but trying to figure out how we create real sustainable change in America. How are they doing it in Indian and Asian America? How are they getting change? It seems to be working for them. America seems to be working for them.
Oh, well.
Collective bargaining.
Explain that.
They face their opposition as one unit, and whereas we seem to come to the table with 6, 7, 8 different agendas. You know what I mean? We've yet to be one cohesive opponent for our adversaries, and I think other nations tend to find a way to do that.
Okay. Let's see. The ones that make it here, they got billions at home.
Ooh.
Cuz you gotta explain that. I want to make sure I understand what you mean by that.
Your cousin Lewis?
That's my cousin.
Okay, when you say cuz, I'm looking for cuz noise.
No, that was my cousin Lewis. Collective bargaining. That's an interesting statement you just made there, Albie. Because what is America really doing for Asians? Like, what is it actually doing other than the Asian hate bill? Yet they have a Chinatown or Vietnamese.
I mean, listen, a whole one in all large cities.
That's my point. So what are they? Is that collectively going to the bank and saying we as one?
Well, they creating their own banks.
I think very little leaves their community.
That's right.
Very little.
It
Nothing stays in our community.
Oh yeah.
And very little leaves those communities.
I agree.
We are the largest spending demographic. So we move more economic or more money than any other nationality in the United States. But we got nothing, hardly anything to show for it.
Somebody floated out a number. I don't know how true or accurate it was earlier this week, but somebody said that we spend in the trillions, which I don't know how true that is. I would say the billions, maybe. Trillions seems a little high. But we be spending though.
I was gonna say I think that may be accurate. We have more money to spend.
Trillions though, that seems a little high to me. I don't know how accurate that is.
I think we'd always been labeled as billions for a while. I believe it's in the trillions. The cost of living is higher. There are more African Americans that are making more money. Just think about all those athlete contracts, what they were in the beginning in comparison to what they are now.
Yeah, but I don't want to use that as the gauge because
I'm just saying as an example.
No, I hear what you're saying. I'm saying it's not that many athletes though. Like,
okay, but black CEOs, black heads of different companies and stuff.
How many of those either?
Okay. You just want to talk about the poor folk?
No, I want to talk about the real numbers. I want to talk about where the buying power really comes from.
Here's a number.
Yeah.
Blacks have nearly $1 trillion gross national income. Only 2% is reinvested in black communities.
That's
average black dollar circulates in the black community for 6 hours. The Asian community, 30 days.
Ooh, wow.
The Jewish community, 20 days.
Wow.
The black dollar circulates in its own community on average 6 hours before it's gone.
Wow.
Give me an example of where it go.
You want silk hair? You want real?
But that ain't our score.
You want your nail done?
Yeah, but them are still not our stores.
That ain't our store.
Right. Those ain't
where
our
would
stores.
the black?
That's where it goes. That's where our dollar goes.
Oh, because it's locationally in our community.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense because there's all the stores that are in the black community. Like I said, even down to the corner store where Habib owns the corner store. Even though he got bars on the windows. He opened all night and he got half of his gas station, the whole 9 yards. Still, that ain't no black money circulating in the black community. It's going right in to pay for whatever you want, and it's going right out back to his relatives for whatever country he's come from.
Well, Lewis said they say foreigners do well in America. Why can't black people? I'm saying those that make it here are a small percentage of their population. So let's compare all blacks to all foreigners. Okay, that makes sense. Andy Bruce said he went to Chinatown in Hawaii last week. And they shop and spend with themselves and they support one another. In Hawaii. Wow. So I said that number is not 100% factual. We don't spend or generate more revenue than whites, but we spend more of our revenue than on things outside our community than everyone else. I don't understand that statement. What number is not factual? I don't get what you mean.
He's probably talking about that.
Minority markets have $3.9 trillion buying power according to newswise.com. $3.9 trillion buying power.
See, we done moved up like George and Wheezy from the billion to the trillion.
I don't okay, but moved up to what? Like that's what I'm saying. Are we moving up?
That's how much we're spending. Even more money.
You're not hearing what I'm saying.
Okay.
If that statement is true, let's go back to what Dave Ramsey said. So you're saying, because that statement has power if we're buying in our communities and we own land and we own our own homes and we own stuff, but we don't own anything. So is it really buying power when it's not backed by anything? It's just recyclable income. It's like we go to work, we get our check, we go buy some shit. That's what the cycle is. It's not that we own it and we're buying from a place of ownership and stability. We're not doing that. We're just buying stuff. Mm. So I don't know if I understand what they're saying in that it's buying power in the sense of we're spending money, but what kind of power is it if it's not really translating to transformative change for us?
Perhaps there's not a lot of teaching of generational wealth.
Well, you gotta kick Dave Ramsey out. He was
I'm saying before Ramsey came into the picture, I'm talking about as a culture, we don't talk generational wealth. We talk about getting out. We got to get out of the hood. We got to get out. We got to go. We got to get our own place somewhere out there where it's already nice, instead of let's build up our community so we can have it nice, and then the money stays in the community and the community is built up. We don't talk about that. We talk about the way to get, we're supposed to grow up, get out. What's that song? Go out, grow up, get out, and get something or something.
Get up, get out, and get something.
Well, I mean, get something, but you got to get up out of here, and parents be ready to push the kids on out. You need to get on out, get your job, and then go do something with your life. Go, not stay here and build up where we are. Asian cultures Asian, Indian cultures, different cultures like that are like, look, it's a family affair.
Where is our trying to figure out how to ask this question? Should we revitalize black neighborhoods or build them? And here's what I mean by that. Can the west end of Louisville, can Park Hill, can South Dallas, can Compton, can South Detroit, I think it's South Detroit where a lot of stuff goes. Can that really truly be vitalized? Or should we go and build something new that is ours? Because what I see foreign nations doing, I see them coming into better neighborhoods and building in those better neighborhoods. Chinatown is not in the impoverished area of the black community. It's adjacent to a well-established white community. Like right up the street from us is a Vietnamese community. And it's in in Plano, which is a very nice community. So they're not going to South Dallas to build the Vietnamese community. You understand what I'm saying? Like they're not building a brand new thing on a faulted foundation. They're saying this is done. It can't be saved. Let's go build something else. So if enough black people got together and said, we're going to take 30 families, 50 families, and go establish this community over here in this really nice area of the community town, could that be done? That's the question I'm asking.
It can be done, but we'd have to trust each other. And as a culture, man, we don't trust nobody. And I know we've come from, where we've all come from, and we have justifiable reason to just not trust people. But at the same time, when I heard this one lady, Asian lady, told me about she mentioned how they bought this ginormous superstore for her beauty supplies. She said, it's like you said, all the families came together. They all put money in and paid for whatever, you contributed to like this one account. Then they all paid for it. And then the next person's endeavor. What do you want to do? Oh, I want to start like a beauty school. I want to teach people how to do hair or whatever. No problem. Well, then all the families will put into it. And then we'll take. But what I see here is, like you said, not in the areas where we are, not in the hood, but go somewhere else. These particular people took a certain part of the different storefronts in an affluent neighborhood. Like, in other words, they've given up on them. Like the different ones we have.
Well, Mama Noise, that's essentially what I'm asking. And I know that's a hard question. But should we at this point, and I'm asking y'all in the chat as well, because I want to know what y'all think. Should we essentially, and I'm gonna let you finish, Mama Noise, but I want to make sure I clarify this a little bit. Should we essentially, or do we have to essentially, for this to work, do we have to abandon that which has Man, this is a tough question because it comes with a pain. Think about this. Essentially, what I'm asking is Park Hill, or I'm saying is Park Hill can't be saved. So let's stop trying to save it. But what we can do is go build something better than Park Hill ever was, better than West End ever was.
See,
So
that's what they thought when they built
Liberty Green.
Liberty Green, but the new community down where Carter Homes was.
Yeah.
Where Southwick and Carter Homes was.
Oh, those real nice houses. Mm-hmm.
Right. And the duplexes and the single family, you know what I mean? That's what they thought. But, the value of those homes still have not increased as compared to other areas in the city.
Well, because you built those homes in, listen, here's what's crazy about what you just said, Al, and you're 1,000% correct. That's actually a phenomenal example to what we're talking about. You built those homes essentially in Carter Homes, essentially in Southwick. So regardless of what the homes look like, where are they located in the minds of banks and industry and white people and if even middle-class blacks? Oh, those are those, just like you just said. Oh, they built those homes over there in Carter Homes, in Southwick. So it doesn't change the essence of the area. You just basically built great homes over graveyards.
Okay.
And you know what, Lewis, you might be right. I to some degree, I might be. Well, see now, Derek, you can't just float that out and then don't come in here and tell us how you do it. Because how do you combat redlining? That's what I'm saying. It's like putting lipstick on a pig and saying, "Hey, this is not bacon as usual. This is better bacon." Well, still a pig, I don't know. So how do you combat redlining? Because technically, Carter Homes and Southwick don't exist anymore.
Oh yeah, they're part of the past.
But yet, that's the area is referred to as that. Can I go to South Dallas and build at Pleasant Grove and it not be considered Pleasant Grove? No. People gonna say, "Oh, he built them nice homes in Pleasant Grove."
Right. Those new condominiums up in Clarksdale.
Yeah, exactly. All I'm doing is building, even tearing down Smoketown, Shepherd Square. Okay, which is a project for those who don't live in that area. It's a project. You tear down Shepherd Square. Okay, I tore it down, but all I did was build in Shepherd Square. We didn't rename it anything. It doesn't carry a different connotation. It's just the same area with a new dress. We bought it a new dress and some shoes and was like, hey, let's put her back out there and see if people recognize her for what she used to look like.
They're just about complete with the third phase of that, Beach Terrace. It's almost completely, and now they're starting on phase 2, parts of Village West.
Tearing it down.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so
Beach Terrace is almost all gone.
So what's the plan when they finish it?
Higher rent is all I can see.
But okay, and see, Derek, that's where I would disagree with you, because what we've seen in our city, that it does matter what you call the area, because the area carries a historical connotation that can't be shaken off so easily. And so if people look at that area as an impoverished area, as a criminal element area, it doesn't matter what I put on top of it. It's still a criminal area. I have not erased the history regardless of how I made over the area.
So you're saying, like, for instance, when Tyler Perry
Yeah.
bought all that land in Atlanta that was a military base. Was it a military base or something to do with World War? I mean, a civil, some whatever that area was that he that was there, and no one, it didn't seem to have that
It
much
was a
value.
Civil War battleground.
Oh, okay, thank you. So he built that. I mean, he leveled that and then built the studios over that.
Right.
Is people from that area just gonna always say out there to the old civil, the old battlegrounds, because that's what they know it to be, regardless of all the money poured into it, all the market value, like Derek said.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know, and I obviously don't know that area very well. I don't live in that city,
Right.
so it's hard for me to really assess that properly. The areas that I have spoke about today, I know them very well, and I'm saying, it's mindsets influence market value a lot of times, and the redlining of those mindsets will or the mindsets influences the redlining, and the redlining influences the market value. So yeah, I went and put quality houses on an old impoverished area that we tore down, but I didn't change the entire area. It's still what it is. So either we're gonna reevaluate or what's the word I'm looking for? Either we're gonna change the because market value, I would love to see the formula for how market value is decided. Is that a nice way to say that? Like, what makes one area better or more valuable than another? Is it just because that's what we're being told? Like, why is this area? Well, the homes are bigger, the homes are nicer. Well, I could take. So Dion built a nice home in Duncanville, but nobody considers Duncanville prime real estate. Yet he built a home also in Prosper, and everybody considers that prime.
But I'm wondering, did they even? It's almost like I'd heard of Prosper quietly, but only until Dion moved out there did you say, "Oh, well, maybe Prosper ain't as bad." I mean, not that I heard anything bad about it, but you got to hear that somebody else than already took the first step to move out into an area. You don't want to be the first ones.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's really what I'm trying to get to, Mama Noise. Somebody's got to be the first one. So another example, since we moved here in Texas, McKinney. When we first moved here to McKinney, and Derek, I know you know this, even with the area that Derek lives in, Wiley. When we first moved here, man, there wasn't nothing in Wiley.
No.
There was nothing in McKinney. It wasn't considered great land per se, because
prime real estate.
It wasn't prime real estate. But in the 20 years that we've been here, man, both those areas are considered ridiculously prime real estate. But what makes it that? Because it's away from impoverished neighborhoods, because there's no crime elements, because what? So if that is the case, and I'm looking at what Derek said. Derek said schools, businesses, and how much money is generated in that area determines market value. Okay, but here's my pushback on that. There are schools in South Dallas. There are businesses in South Dallas. They do generate money. Maybe not the type of money that is generated out here, but it does generate money. So why is it not valuable? Why is it not equitable to the other parts of this area? Why are businesses not flocking? It's probably cheaper to get land in South Dallas.
Yeah, but the crime supersedes the cheaper.
Therein lies what I'm saying. Can these older neighborhoods truly be revitalized, or are we going to have to stop in order to make progress for Black people? Are we going to have to completely start over and build Black neighborhoods in different, just similar to the model of, like Lewis was saying, of our foreign brothers and sisters? They did not go. It would have been cheaper for the Indians and the Asians in Louisville to not try to build the communities out of Hurstbourne Lane and places like that. It would have been much cheaper for them to go to the West End and build. Take some of those older houses that were cheaper and the land that was cheaper and just revitalize those and build communities there. But instead, they chose a more difficult, more financially difficult route. But that's where they're prospering. So is that the model? Is that how you build better Black communities? Because you can't build good on top of bad? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. You say yes, Mama Noise?
I agree. I mean, until we as a people in the hoods of America make a decision that we're not just going to stand idly by and watch stuff happen this bad. You see stuff that's happening. We've talked about before that, you know, there is no more neighborhood watch. It's not Miss Lucille in the window watching all the strange cars pulling up or whatever, wondering why so much activity over that abandoned building and gonna call the police or whatever. But then when the police come, we defending the same type of activities that we don't want. We're saying, I don't want to live in a neighborhood where, you know, there's a crack house over there, or so-and-so's trying to hustle something over there. I don't want to live in that type of place. But we don't want to say nothing either, because the silence, or the code of silence, if you will, in the community is so weighty that, you know, you'd rather sit and suffer. So if the whole community is not on one accord to making a difference or making a change, that we're not going to stand by and just let anything happen in our hood, because that's what happens when you go to these homeowners association neighborhoods. You go to those neighborhoods and your grass is high, ain't gonna be no parking of cars on the lawn. We ain't tolerating that. Matter of fact, here's we gonna issue a fine for cars parked on the lawn, or trying to leave your washing machine on the porch, or trying to leave some furniture in the driveway or whatever, or a whole bunch of hoarded cars and stuff that don't work and stuff like that. Nope. If you keep that type of stuff up, we're going to reject your application and you can't even live here. So, but we don't want to put, as the man said, now I ain't quoting Reverend Kevion, he said structure. That's the structure. When all those communities we say we want to live in, they got real nice grass. They got flowers and everything. They got all kind of landscaping. And that's the place I want to live to raise my kids. That's the place that you're going to have to follow structure.
So okay. So and Derek 1000% right. HOAs are designed to protect the value of that neighborhood. So are we saying? Because you bring up a great point, Mama Noise, you do. And to piggyback off of your point and what Sean just said, if you don't change the mindset of the people, all the stuff you're talking about will never happen. So I'm gonna go to the other side first, and then we'll come back to this side. Can the mindset of the hood today be changed? And if it can't, then why are we trying to use that as the model? Should we just say, that is going to be what it is. Let's start fresh with something new. Let me get Al in. Al, can you hear us?
I can. I don't know if you can hear me, because
We got you.
I think until we understand that collectively as a community, my value is no greater than the least of us, right? So if here we go. Our middle class is flourishing. The Black middle class is growing and thriving and successful but our lower class is also growing. So until we understand that, until we understand that the value of the middle class means nothing as a whole because it's being anchored by the lower class, we're not going to succeed. You know, and that I got mine, you get yours mentality is what's beating us up and what's keeping us down.
Ah. So you saying we gotta save the lower class in order to make all this work?
We have to. Now I know that the success of America is only based on the fact that there is an upper class and a lower class. But until we slow down and pull up our brothers and sisters, we just we're like a ship that can't pull its anchor in. The anchor's dragging the bottom, so we're going nowhere.
I gotta be honest with you, Al. When you said that, my heart sank a little bit, because if you're saying Black progress is predicated on our ability to dare I say save our hardest element to save, woo.
I mean, because that lends its way to the divisiveness that we suffer from in so many different ways.
Derek said
our community. I think the Black community suffers from classism more than anybody within our own community.
But I wonder sometimes though, is our classism also mirrored by our moralism? Because if you doing shit that I don't want done, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to live next to a trap house. I don't want to live next to a drug house. I don't want to live next to a whorehouse. I want to live, if we all on the same moral page, then I feel like we can get on the same economic page. But if we're not on the same moral page, my pastor, the great Honorable Bishop Dave Chappelle, he said, America will never be as great as it can be because everybody in America is racist and everybody in China is Chinese. And his point was, people in China are all on the same page. They don't have no choice. They all Chinese and we all unified in one. But that's not Black America. We're not one. We're coming from it from various different angles and points and ideologies and thought processes. And because of that, it's hard to get us all on the same page. Now, here's what Derek said. Derek said there has to be economic empowerment. People that work have less time for crime. The safer a neighborhood is, the more businesses see it as a safe place to do business. Business wants to be where people are, but the risk level has to be lower. And I don't disagree with that. The challenge I have with your statement, Derek, is that the mentality of a lot of Black people who are doing illegal stuff is that this money comes faster.
Yeah.
And so my route to economic empowerment is faster in a criminal element. If I sell crack, heroin, meth, whatever it is, I can get to where I want to be economically much faster than if I go work at Popeyes, McDonald's, or the corner store. So how do I shift that mindset away from because that element is there? And I like what Sean said, they have to recognize that they want to be saved. Ron said not to build a Black American, but to build a better Black community and a Black life. Okay. Stefan asked, but does that community have to have Black neighbors on both sides, or just 20% of your neighbors like the population? Well, I'll say this, Stefan. In the community that we referred to earlier, those communities are Vietnamese, Asian, Chinese, whatever, Indian, Hispanic. They are They are their own community. They don't have other in that neighborhood. So why is it okay for that neighborhood to do it, but it's not okay for us to do it? That's the question that I think we're trying to resolve. I don't know how to answer that question. And that's where I'm going. Shared values within that neighborhood makes it easier. So I'm saying, how do we get that? How do we push the boundaries of our understanding into a shared, and can that be done on the grounds of the damage of the neighborhoods that we currently have? That's where I'm struggling today. How do we get Black progress if we can't get people all on the same shared valued page? This is a hard conversation. I know that. But I know on this show we talk a lot about the change and the elements of change and how to get there. And I'm saying, man, it's
well.
Go ahead, Mama Noise.
When I think of shared values, like
Derek is talking about, yeah.
Derek was saying, shared values within a neighborhood that makes it easier. That's absolutely accurate, because it's like people will do better in something that they have to pay for. Like when you say, I don't want to live in a neighborhood that has a homeowners association. I certainly understand it. However, the values are that everybody understands. If you got a dog, your dog does not go use the bathroom in everybody's yard. You better make sure you're carrying a bag with you to make sure you scoop it up. Where if you go to another neighborhood where it's a free-for-all, because when you don't have a homeowners association, it's a free-for-all. That means you got to trust that everybody's just going to do the right thing. Well, okay, when you trust them to do the right thing, then everybody does what they've grown enough to do. Some will do the right thing, some may not do the right thing.
Right.
But when you're paying for it, you're expecting, okay, I pay. First thing I ever heard was people talk about, I pay taxes over here for this house. And the homeowners association is whatever fees or whatever that you pay to be a part of that is not cheap. So you saying I'm paying my mortgage and I'm paying this homeowners association? I expect perfection up in this camp. I don't expect to have nobody come over here and, you know, like I said, drive your truck up on my lawn and put your tracks through my grass, because that's not according to the rules and regulations of the homeowners association. But when we just create a neighborhood when we just do it on faith, which is sad. But, you know, when we invest in it, we're more likely to follow through.
That's a good point. Listen.
Or, okay, I stand corrected.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think you're making a good point, actually.
But, you know, in the chat, Ron was like, you know, his neighbors have the same mindset. But see, that's the part. If your neighbors are not all on one accord and they don't have that collective respect for each other's things, like they're looking out, oh, Ron them went on vacation. Well, we're watching the house to make sure nobody pulls up there that I haven't. You know, that to me just goes back to what we used to do long time ago when, like I said, Miss Lucille was at the window looking out, trying to make sure if she saw somebody's kid somewhere or whatever, that community thing. But if we don't have that, then now we just got to pay for it.
See, that's what Derek and I are saying the same thing. He said, if you go to any communities, all the kids in the neighborhood are outside playing from house to house. Why? Or how do they do it? Because every house is the same in terms of culture. It creates a safety because you know what to expect from those around you. One generation is going to have to set a plan and sacrifice for the next two. I think that's a big part of it, Anthony Bruce. I think in order to pull this off, we're going to have to decide that I want my grandkids to have a neighborhood that they can be proud of and live in and prosper. And we build it from a place, from the values that we have currently today. Stefan said, reality is this is America. The only black neighborhoods are the ones they placed us in. No black person or mean wants to live there. Well, that's true. That's where we are right now. Listen, I can talk that ish today all I want to, but I am part of the problem. I'm part of the problem. Because I don't want to live in an impoverished, crime-riddled neighborhood. I don't. I don't want to raise my girls in a impoverished, crime-riddled neighborhood. I don't. I don't want my kids having to navigate drug use and crime elements like I did. I don't want that for them.
Yeah.
So I refuse to live in those neighborhoods.
That's
if I got to pay extra to live in a better quality neighborhood than what is also available to me, then that's what I do. That's what we're saying. That's a hard truth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was I handed that neighborhood, the black neighborhood? Yeah. Well, I don't know. Listen, this is a hard thought process, because it sounds like, or it comes across like, I don't want to be around my people. And that's not true. I do want to be around my people, but I don't want my people to kill me either, or to kill my children.
Well, you feel as if you already endured all of that. And thank God you survived that. But do you want to, you brought children in this world, and now you're saying, do I want them to experience the same things that I experienced? And Anthony Bruce is correct. Some people gonna have to be left behind.
That's the, oh man, that's the elephant in the room to me. In order for us to have black progress, y'all not ready? In order for us to have black progress, are we going to have to leave some people behind? Can everyone, or maybe can is the worst part of that word. Maybe I should say it differently. Will we be able to save everybody?
No. I can tell you that without hesitation. No. And off the top, I was thinking, when I mentioned Atlanta earlier, about, Atlanta's got this area of a lot of African-American entrepreneurs. It's just turning into an area of like what we see here, but it's all white that's doing that. An area like Legacy, the shops at Legacy over that area. That area is now becoming all these entrepreneurs, all these shops and stuff. Well, they're doing like that in Atlanta. But guess what? They had to put it somewhere like Bankhead. That, they could have brought it in the Atlanta area, right there in Fulton County, right there, whatever. But they put it out like we talked about the Asians are doing here, that are like, Plano's got all these abandoned, not a lot, but a couple of abandoned storefronts. They came right up and bought those storefronts. I'm telling you, back when I worked at Mardell's Christian Bookstore, shout out to them. But when I worked there, the manager was saying there's a conglomerate of Asians that are buying the whole strip mall across the street. And I was like, okay, well, what's the big deal? Then they bought the one across the next street. Then they bought the next one, and then put all Asian businesses in every one of them.
I want to say something about what Stefan just said, because that's actually a famous Harriet Tubman quote. They say it's a character. There's a discrepancy of whether or not she actually said it that way or said it at all. But I attribute it to her, and I think it's probably some accuracy to it. But there's a quote that she says, I saved hundreds of people from slavery, and I would have saved hundreds more if they'd have known they were slaves. And I think the truth of that statement is this: I don't know if it is possible to save the current black community if they don't realize that there's a problem.
That's true.
We counsel a lot of people, Kieta. We have counseled over the years. I don't talk about as much as you do because it's just a part of our lives, and I don't really, it's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at the people that I was unable to counsel, the common thread of those people is that they didn't want to change.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to find the strategy of how to change the mindset of a person that doesn't want to change. I ain't figured that one out yet. So if there's an element that just simply does not want to change, that we are going to do what we do, that it is innately black to do what we want to do that way in that community, then I don't know how you fix that. And maybe you can't. See, the one thing I would love to talk to an Indian, an Asian community person, do they save everybody?
No.
Because it looks like they do. I'm going to just tell you on the outside looking in, it looks like they do.
I think it's just like what it says in scripture. Whosoever will, let him come.
But do you understand what I'm saying though? When you look at it, it looks like they're 100% in lockstep with one another. So it don't look like they're leaving people behind. It looks like everybody coming over, everybody's in line, everybody's in lockstep. They know what we're doing. We all have the plan. We're going to execute this thing the way it's supposed to be executed. That's what it looks like on the outside looking in. I don't know if that's what it is, but that's what it looks like. So I'm wondering, is it real or not?
We've been seeing that it's real. I told you my coworker, she grew up in a hotel because her parents own the hotel.
I remember that story.
A lot of the Indians are buying up these small little hotels, raising their families in there, getting their cousin and them to do the housekeeping and being custodians and electricians and stuff. They're doing that. We see in a lot of the Hispanics. We see a lot of it here. All these houses and stuff all around here. Hey, they all stand on one accord. We all getting in here together. Everybody can drive a nice car. We just got to stay all in the same place. And grandmama's doing all the cooking, but we gonna do this thing. And then next thing I know, they bought the house next to it and the house next to that. And then Pablo comes over and does the masonry. And then they got another relative that comes over and does the plumbing. I mean, we are the ones that are like, I'm good. I don't need to come together with nobody. I got this.
Ooh.
We lack unity.
Is it unity or strategy?
Unity and strategy.
And strategy.
And
like Ron said,
we also lack structure.
Yeah, we lack structure.
Unity, strategy, and structure. Because like Ron said, he's like, oh, my whole neighborhood, we all on one accord. Okay. I bet you if you ask everybody in the chat, everybody can't say that.
No, I would disagree. I'm gonna say I don't disagree with what you just said. I agree. I would agree with what you said. I think because I don't even know all my neighbors.
We met one of them during the pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know all my neighbors, so I know we ain't all on the same page. Now, well, but here's the irony though. Now here's the irony for this conversation. It's a weird analogy, but it's a good one. We live in a townhome community, right? We don't have assigned parking in our townhome community. We don't. So truthfully, anybody from the outside coming in can park anywhere they want without penalty. Yet, they don't. Within the community, there's an unspoken understanding of where everybody parks their cars. We've never talked about it. We've never had a meeting about it, but we all know whose parking spaces belong to who, and nobody infringes upon that.
Well, if there is somebody that does, it's because we know that they don't live here.
Well, but my point is, Mama Noise, how are we able to establish a sense of community and unified moral code
without ever having those conversations. How is that possible?
It's not.
Well, it is. We're doing it.
We just stay out of each other's way.
Well, I think, because it's a townhome community, I wonder if it's just as simple as somebody has to be the buffer to say you are good for this community and you are not. That's a hard statement, man. That's a hard thing, harsh reality. But are we going to have to qualify people to build this new Black community? Are we going to have to simply say, your mindset ain't quite there yet? We got to work on that. But the ones that have done it, we say, okay, I think you can handle this. I think you get what we're trying to accomplish here. Because in order for this to work, there has to be a selfless mentality. We're building something for all of us, not just like Lewis said, and over here, there's a kind of a semblance of self-interest, but in that neighborhood that we're talking about building, maybe there's got to be a selfless mentality. Stephon said we may not want to admit it, but education and wealth are more consistent binders than race or blood. Ooh.
Ouch.
I don't know how to take. Oh man, that's tough.
But where's the line?
Well, I don't know. Education in what sense? Degrees? Because everybody that has a degree doesn't necessarily carry the right mindset. Maybe they do, but education in the sense of I am learned as to how the world and life works and that kind of thing. I can get on board with that, I guess. I don't know. That's a tough one for me.
Well,
because if you start weeding people out based on whether they're not got a degree, you're gonna weed out a lot of people. Go ahead, Mama Nora.
Well, we've seen the evidence of race and blood. I'm telling you, when I know it seems like I'm harping on that, but I mean, I've seen when I've seen with just the Asian community with the storefronts, and then they said, "Dad, that we're gonna bring our own banks from our country and place it right in our storefront." It's like, oh, okay. Not only do I not have to deal with, we can bring in banks from our country that speak our language, that and make it all, like we said, on one accord. You got the Chinatown is doing what Chinatown is doing. Little Havana is doing what Little Havana is doing. But where are we?
See, Mama Noise, and that's why I'm struggling with the race and blood part of this, because I think Al would get excited knowing that if he walked into a bank that I owned and saw my face and we have built a relationship, he'd get excited knowing that he has a real possibility to get that bank loan. And not under necessarily perfect conditions, but because we have relationship and because maybe we've got programs in place to say, hey, Al, I know your situation didn't start out the best, but I see what you've done in the last 5 years. And just based on that alone, we're going to work with you and figure out how to make this work for you. So I'm looking at the totality of the situation, not just snapshots of a piece of paper. You see what I'm saying? And that may be how we have to build it in the Black community going forward or whatever. But my point is, race would bind us. Blood would bind us.
Should.
Under this relationship would bind us. Opportunity would bind us because we're trying to build something. We have programs in place to educate and to elevate this person based on what and who they are. You're not going to tell me, here it comes. Y'all ready? You're not going to tell me that all these Hispanic communities, they got just great A1 credit, every single one of them. I don't believe that. Number one, a lot of our Hispanics can't even get green cards, let alone A1 credit.
Well, true.
So, and the same thing in our Chinese and Indian communities, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's the working together thing. I'm telling you, I'll be sitting there going, man, you know, you thinking I'm trying to get me a car, and when I go to a regular car dealership, it's like watching paint dry. It's a challenge. It's some serious red tape when you're trying to buy a car. But yet, my neighbors be driving them big old trucks and stuff. I'm sitting there going, how much is that? But if you know somebody, then know somebody, then know somebody. I mean,
can I share a weird story that I think will be appropriate here? This is a very weird story, but it's a really good one. Since Cuz in here, somebody's got to share stories today. There was a man by the name of John Coble. He worked at Perkins Motors on Dixie Highway in Louisville, Kentucky. He and Al is nodding his head, so maybe he knows what I'm talking about. He built a reputation out of that facility as being a man who worked for people. You would come in and your credit might not be exactly what it needed to be, but he was determined to try to figure out how to get you into one of them Chryslers. Okay, gotcha.
The Oprah Winfrey of used cars, if you will.
He was the Oprah Winfrey of used cars.
You get a car.
Yes, and he was brilliant at it. He got a lot for a run there. I would say half of Shively was in a car that he put him in.
Even my mama.
Now, I know this story very well, not because he put me into a car, but one of his sons is one of my best friends. So I know the man very, very well. He lived his life that way of just mentoring and trying to grow us up and all that stuff. He's like a second father to me. So I say that because he made Black people feel comfortable about who they were, about where they were, and about what they could accomplish. And that mattered. That mattered.
Yeah, my mind goes to just yesterday. There was a rant from Jim Jones, the rapper.
Yeah.
The treatment he received in the Gucci store. He had just ran up gathered, purchased nearly $30,000 in merchandise, but was unsatisfied with the treatment that he received. And the first thing they did was went and got him a low-level manager of the same ethnic persuasion as he is, in hopes to soothing his anger, only to find out that that African American manager treated him with the same disrespect as he was complaining about in the first place. So,
wow.
Oftentimes, we as a people, once we attain a certain level or status, we kind of disregard or turn our back on those that have not excelled to the level that we've already attained. Almost like what did your grandmama say? Be careful who you step on your way up.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, we step on people on the way up that ladder, and instead of trying to hang on to one rung, secure yourself with your feet on one rung, and then reach down and grab somebody else.
This is a tricky thing because we keep talking about, and I know Cuz he'll be here in a minute, and I know he always talks to us about the Black family and the Black father and doing the work in our own homes. And I don't disregard any of that. I think that's a major part of this conversation. But in concert with one another, how do we build a community? Can we build a community of that with what you just said, Al, where we can come up, not tear down, but build up and out together? So we're building up together and we're building out together. We're valuing one another. And we set a standard in this new community where Black fathers are there. We set a standard in this community where Black mothers are there. And they're helping each other raise kids and mentoring one another on all levels and supporting each other on all levels. To me, this community that we're talking about is a very specifically designed community. And it's and I don't know, it almost feels like it has to be, for lack of better terminology, 50 to 100 model homes. Y'all remember model home community? Y'all remember Home-A-Rama in Louisville?
Yeah.
Where you go visit all these model homes and you say, man, this is what the homes in a community should look like. Well, now let's do that and then add Black people and say, we're all like-minded. We're all thinking the same. We're all functioning the same. We got the same morality. No, but see, I don't agree with that, Stephon. He said, well, that's called Atlanta. I don't think so. Because in Atlanta, you got all kinds of mentalities.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm saying the mentalities, and I'm not just talking about a religious one either. I'm talking about there has to be a shared morality, a shared value system, a shared economic system, a shared cultural system. But the Blackness of it all can't be the only thing. It has to be more than that. And is Atlanta working? Because, we saw a lot of shit go down last year with Atlanta, last 2 years with Atlanta. So I don't know. Because I don't know if you had a chance to hear this amazing conversation we've been having about Black progress today. But we're trying to understand, what does it take? What does it take to accomplish this? And one of the things I floated out, can we build a new Black community within the old Black community? The Bible says, now because I can go Bible, the Bible says you can't do it. Bible says you can't put new wine in the old wineskins. So I don't know. Talk to me, because you home and you're safe now.
Hello, everyone out there. Listen.
You can even get that foolish announce yourself.
Out there in listening land. You guys are talking about success, Black success,
progress,
success
and progress. Yes.
And what's the question to me?
Okay, I'm calling you out because I know you're in a fog right now. You've been taking care of your boo thing this morning, so I'm gonna let you live. No shade. Black progress. Can we build a new community and fix the Black families and communities as a whole on top of what is currently there?
Atlanta did it.
See, that's what Stephon said, but is that true?
Absolutely true.
You got to explain that to me. How did Atlanta do it then?
You know how successful some Black people are in Atlanta? My God.
Oh, yeah.
But did they move into the impoverished parts of Atlanta to become that successful?
What?
They all over Atlanta. Them Negroes run Atlanta. They got it all. The suburbs, Black. The hood, Black. The outskirts, Black. The country, Black. God, everything Black in Atlanta.
Do you think Atlanteans, if I can say it that way, all share the same moral the economic and well, that's what we're talking about.
Most people went to Atlanta for a fighting chance. That's why Atlanta grew so much, because people from Alabama, Mississippi, New York, Tennessee, Kentucky, people kept going down to Atlanta because they heard that Atlanta was the new black Mecca. And it was. And it still is to a degree.
That's right.
And so was DC, but not everybody flocked to DC.
Because DC is too expensive. Atlanta's never been that expensive. Atlanta's still not that expensive.
Really?
It's not. It's still a southern city.
I would really like to know how they did it on the grounds of the impoverished parts of Atlanta, because that's the part that's fascinating to me. Like we were talking about, you probably missed this part earlier, but like in Louisville, they tried to tear down the projects, literally tried to tear down the projects and build homes on the same ground. Well, they did it, but people still refer to that area as the projects that it used to be. So the redlining of that area has not changed. It's not valuable. The property values have not risen in any way, form, or fashion, and it's looked upon as no different, just nice homes in the hood is all people look at it as. No more than a Habitat for Humanity type situation.
Wow.
So how did Atlanta do it?
It really was a mentality in Atlanta. Most people went there to make it. Now, that included the low skill, the no skill, the high skill, the well-educated. Everybody went there to make it. And the city grew because of that. There was a can-do type attitude in Atlanta. They wanted to do better. The black people that moved from their original homes went there in order to make it. And it became a hustling town, a bustling town, because people wanted to make it. So what's the answer?
I don't know. That's what we're asking. Yeah,
you have to want to make it. You have to want it.
And we got Bishop Jakes from Dallas, Texas, buying property out in the Atlanta area and having homes built out in the Atlanta area. A part of the project where they're building more storefronts where all these black entrepreneurs are flourishing as well. So I remember we was like, how come he ain't doing that here? Well, maybe he said, I'm taking it where I already see it growing and building on that. And
but my problem with that is Atlanta don't need him.
Neither does Dallas.
Why you say that?
You
don't think Dallas needs him?
We don't need another developer in the DFW area. There's plenty of that. There's plenty of growth. He's not doing it for any moral reason. He's doing it to make a dollar.
But I'm saying, if we're talking about revitalizing black communities, black progress, how do we get a sustainable model to where communities the reason what sparked this conversation, what sparked this particular area, was we see our Indian brothers doing it. We see our Asian brothers doing it. We see our Hispanic brothers to some degree in some communities doing it, where they have their own insulated everything. So how do we do that? I just where you're protecting your own, to where in your particular community, there's a moral understanding, there's a cultural understanding, there's a economic understanding among us that we protect our own.
I believe Atlanta has that.
You keep saying that. I gotta get to Atlanta.
You keep saying that.
I gotta get to Atlanta in these communities.
Man, Atlanta is now.
Oh my gosh!
It has a lot of hood, because what ends up happening is, number one, a lot of people were from Atlanta. They were already there. But what ends up happening is you move there with no skill, and then the competition are low skill, and the competition gets real stiff, and then life happens, and then you end up right where you were before you left home. You just changed zip codes, ain't shit else changed. You're still in the same position. That's a reality of life. But for the vast majority that moved there, they were determined to be on a come up. And they moved in those circles, scratching each other's backs and dapping each other because they all understood we are on a come up. This is our opportunity. And man, I'm telling you, when I go to Atlanta, I go to the nice areas because I don't want to.
He's in Bankhead.
I don't go to nobody's hood. You damn right. I'm all up in Bankhead. I don't go to nobody's hood. And I'm like, damn, look at all these Negroes.
I bet it's an experience.
But okay, so stop right there. You said something. You said something though. You said something. I don't go to the hood areas. So is the mentality of Atlanta, we're not going to try to save the hood. What we are going to try to do is prosper in Atlanta, whatever that means. So if that means we got to build up Bankhead, if that means we got to build up what's the other area that's real prosperous there? It's round to my tongue. You know what I'm talking about though. There's two main black areas.
Where? Here?
In Atlanta.
Two main
or around Atlanta. Maybe not in Atlanta, but right.
Fulton County. Yeah.
So we're saying we're not going to try to build up the worst elements of our city. But what we are going to try to do is we're going to try to create a new reality or a new black experience in other areas or surrounding areas. That was the question I was asking. Like, I don't see us being able to go down to the worst parts of Dallas, like Pleasant Grove or certain parts of South Dallas or whatever, and say we're going to revitalize this and change the mentality and get them off the crime and this, that, and the other. I think it feels more like we're going to have to create a Bankhead in Collin County or wherever that would take place at. Is that what you're saying Atlanta did?
You cannot change the hood.
That's where I was. Yeah,
with development, with money, it's a mentality, and until the mentality of the people change, doesn't matter what you do. If you build it, they gonna. Listen, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it.
No, say it, because that's where we are.
If you build it, they gonna mess it up in 5 to 10 years, because they don't.
Buckhead, you're right, Stephon. Yeah, I'm sorry.
They don't have the value system to take care of that because they don't feel like they own anything, so they don't give a damn about your shit. They don't care nothing about theirs. So that's a mentality. Generally speaking, when you see something nice coming to your neighborhood, you try to take care of it. You know, you don't throw trash on the ground, and you don't have your kids running through and tearing up this and that. You try to take care of that because you understand that it adds value to your community. But if you don't have invested in the community, what do you care about value? Mentality. So you are correct. You have to build on the outskirts of the hood.
That's fascinating to me because that's. I'm wondering if our efforts should be more deliberate.
The hood would always be with us. It ain't going nowhere.
Well, it's within us. It goes with us.
Well, but no. I don't disagree with some of what you're saying. I understand that. I'm saying, and we've been saying Bankhead. Well, you're right, Stephon. We meant Buckhead.
Yeah. Both of them end with head, so I apologize.
It threw us out.
Head one time in Buckhead.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what we were talking about when we started this conversation, but
not at all.
But I digress.
But you know what, Lloyd? Some people say, I think it was Tony Bruce that was further earlier in the broadcast that said it's all about mindset. And much as we did not want to, just as Jay so eloquently just put it, is we trying to, you know, save somebody that says, you know, I'm always gonna, you know, this is what I was born to do. That's where I live, and ain't nothing ever gonna change. And then here you come talking about all he needs is some money. All he need is to be put somewhere else. Well, you know,
that was what I was saying earlier. That's the question I was asking earlier. I'm saying I don't know if you can save that which has already dug its roots into itself. Like if you got a group of people that are just simply saying we hood and we gonna be hood and niggerish and the whole nine and we ain't gonna change, then I don't know if you can. My point is we're gonna have to leave some folk behind in order for this to work. Man, unfortunately, everybody can't go.
Pastor, the Bible said that, you know, the children of Israel, all of them, no matter all that stuff they went through, they didn't cross the Red Sea. Some of them stayed. Some of them tried it. Once they got over there and started talking about, man, you remember back when we was over in Egypt, they used to have seasoning on the food. We ain't got no seasoning out here. So they was longing to go back, even though they got out. So it's like some will go and some will stay. And then you be like, okay, we got an opportunity. Come on, let's all go. Let's all do it. Live a better life. Let's all, you know, go to the land of milk and honey. Some folks are like, look here, it ain't that bad. You know, if we had a little bit more straw, we could, you know, make those, you know, a little bit better. But other than that, you know, massa ain't that bad. You know, we got some struggles, but this life ain't. You can't.
She's dead. She's dead on.
Yeah. So maybe what we're saying essentially, guys, is that, ooh, boy, this is rough. This is a rough conversation here, man. Because this is a reality check. And that's where, Stefan, that's where I was headed. That's where I was headed. Because he's right. He and I have a mutual friend that we couldn't save him. We could not save him. Love him. He will forever be our guy. But we couldn't save him. And he's gone from this earth because we couldn't. I can't make you, because you talk about black fathers going back home, being responsible, this, that, and the other. So if we decide to build our own Buckhead here in Collin County or Denton County, wherever it is, and we infiltrate with 50 families, and we say in this community here, the standard is fathers are here, and the standard is mothers and fathers are raising their kids, and the standard is education, and the standard is this, and the standard is taking care of your community and cutting your damn grass and all. The standard is that. That's a weeding out to that. There's that's specific, and there's a weeding out to that, and there's a separation of that. That's very deliberate and very determined. And I wonder, is that how Atlanta really did it? They said some of you niggas can't move to Buckhead. That's just how it is. We're gonna put a gate around Buckhead, and you can't get in. But we who make it inside the gate, we know what the standard is, and we're gonna maintain the standard. Well, Lewis, that I'm asking that question. Are we saying essentially that there is goodness in redlining?
What? The very red line that keeps people from getting bank loans?
But now we're saying we're gonna create our own banks. Now we're saying we're gonna create our own restaurants. Now we're just saying that if you can't change your moral, mental, spiritual, economic mentality towards it all, you can't be a part of this next phase.
Is that all it was about in the first place?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
No, I'm saying the red line.
No.
with them saying, look, y'all ain't gonna be asking for no money and y'all ain't got no means to be able to pay these loans back.
They might say that is what it was. They may say we believe that the element that of morality and economic understanding, and they may say we didn't think y'all carried the same mentality that we carry, so that's why we didn't want y'all in our community. That might be what they're saying. But that is buried out not to be true.
So black people don't like their grass cut.
No, we do like our grass cut.
Well, I mean, you know, when you establish those type of standards and you say, you know,
I'm not saying it's just grass cut, Mama. I don't want you to get
no, I'm just figuratively saying. I'm figuratively saying that. I'm saying, you know, because we do like our grass cut. I don't know where that foolishness came from.
Okay. What's your thoughts on it?
It's a mentality thing. I don't know if it's so much a neighborhood thing. I was raised in a very nice neighborhood there in Mississippi. I go back to it now and it looks like shit on a sheet.
What happened?
Because the ninjas tore it up. It was the best neighborhood in all of Jackson, Mississippi. And they tore it up. So
they tore up the neighborhood?
Oh yeah. So I don't know if it's a mentality thing. That's why associations are so important. That's why I give so much credit when I'm on here after I finish talking stupid and crazy. I give credit to guys that are men, because we have to sharpen each other and lift each other up, that it can be done. I'm living proof that it can be done. But the shameful part is, I don't have a lot of friends that have done it. So I end up having to associate with days. But my ride or die now, my dogs, you know who they are.
Right. That's the challenge for me, cuz that's why I mentioned the thing about the neighborhoods. How do we? Because I heard the great Tony Evans say this. God bless him. He said, "Black families build communities. Communities build cities. Cities build states. States build regions. Regions build a nation." He said, if we don't get the family right, we can't get the community right. If we don't get the community right, we can't get right. Right. So, to me, hearing that and then going through this conversation of Black progress that we're talking about today, it just, to me, it's not accidental. I'm curious about the formula of a deliberate nature to change Atlanta versus the accidental, what you're kind of referring to, or ambitious.
It was deliberate. It was deliberate.
Okay.
The people that went there, I told you, they were determined. Some fall by the wayside. They go, hang out where they hang out. But for the vast majority, they were very deliberate in their efforts to live a better life down south.
Thank you, Derek. Derek corrected me because he's right. It started with the man first. Man builds a family, and then goes from there. Yeah. So yeah. So so with that being said, I just don't think there's another way to get around leaving some folk behind.
Well, I don't know of a more religious group other than maybe some Muslims that pray 2 or 3 times a day, But I don't know of a more religious group of people than black people. Most of us, our stories, except for Mama Noise, she was a heathen. Most of us, our story was.
Oh
you was a heathen in the church.
That is true. That is also true.
Your heathenistic ways talking about who was a heathen.
That escalated quickly.
Now, most of our stories is that we spend so much time in church.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good foundation. But if we would focus more on the disciplines that it takes in order to be a success, that means take your ass to college. That means major in something that's going to yield you a career. That means build yourself a business. Whatever it is, focus on what it's going to take to be a success. If we would spend, and I hate to say it this way, but I'm going to say it. If we would spend less time in the church house and more time in the schoolhouse, we could actually.
So, Lewis, that answers that question. No, we're not saying leave the children behind. I'm saying we got to set a new standard for them. And it has to be deliberate. Succession is a function of law and discipline. I listen, all of what I've just seen in these last few comments is so true. And I'm gonna end the section of comments with go back to what Stephon said. In Buckhead, he said North Buckhead, if you ain't got 7 figures, you can't get in. East Cobb, okay, Decatur, Roswell. He's saying all those places, there's a mentality. There's a
That's not true.
Well, but
for less than 7 figures.
But I think what he's essentially saying is that the ideology of a certain type of aspirational success must be there to enter the community. They're not just going to let the drug dealer who's banging on all cylinders come in the community and be like, "Hey man, I'm gonna set up shop here." No, you ain't. That's what I think he's saying.
Buckhead got apartments too.
Okay.
They just expensive apartments, but they got apartments too. Listen, some of us, like Mama Nora said, which is why I said she hit it on the head. Some of us refuse to leave the environment that we're used to.
Right.
Partly because for fear that folks might talk about us, about who do we think we are, and look, we out there trying to do this and we trying to do that. And we will quickly put each other down before you even have a shot at the success. We're already putting our mouth on you to tell you that you're not all that. Instead of lifting one another up, we don't oftentimes do that. Even if we do it in a conversation, many of us don't really mean it. So most of us stay where we're from because we're comfortable there.
Okay.
It takes a different kind of person. You and Mama Noise have done it. It takes a different kind of person to say, you know what? I'm going to pick up and I'm going to leave. And I'm leaving for a purpose.
Listen.
That ain't easy to do.
No, it's not.
Let me tell you something else. It was easier for me to do because I was in the ARMY. And the ARMY paid my way.
Right.
Now, as I got older, I made moves, my wife and I, on our own. But we had the ARMY Foundation.
Would you have left if it was not for the Army?
It would have been much harder for me to leave Mississippi if it wasn't for the Army.
You would have stayed.
It would have been much harder for me to leave. I probably would have got one of them old wide girls, and we would have had about 5 kids. And
oh my.
We can't talk if we ain't gonna tell the damn truth.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Oh, see, your little co-pastor done showed up soon as you get here. Well, now.
It's much easier to stay broke if everybody else around you is broke.
It is. It is. It is. So let me throw this out. Let me throw out the opposite. If given the opportunity to expand a community here in the great state of Texas, let's say, I don't know, Van Alstyne or Anna or something of that ilk that has not truly been cultivated into a clear identity of who they are yet. If an influx of blacks could be brought into that experience, would that be appealing to somebody like you to move in and help build and establish that community?
Hell no. First of all, we have that here in the DFW area.
Where?
Oak Cliff.
That's not the same.
Oh no, they have some very nice areas in Oak Cliff and South 67 South. 67,
Oak Cliff, you know about Claiborne in that area?
67 South off of 20. Duncanville. There's some nice areas down there. DeSoto. There's some nice black areas down there.
Duncanville, DeSoto.
A lot of the sports players live down there in those areas. There's some nice areas down there. Whole neighborhood.
Is Duncanville, DeSoto, are they like Buckhead?
No, because they don't have the businesses.
That's my point. I'm talking about areas that can have power, influence, affluence, and a standard of that sets the precedence for the entire. Now, if there was a Buckhead type area down there that anchored the area for Duncanville, for DeSoto, for Oak Cliff, now we're talking. Because that's what that area is missing. There are nice areas, but there's what I'm saying, Derek. They don't get the value for their homes they should. And part of that is because of redlining. But if we deliberately break the red line and say, this area now, we are claiming it for the blacks. Now, all of a sudden, Duncanville's prices go up. DeSoto's prices go up. Oak Cliff's prices go up because we forced the hand of value in those areas. Would you go down there for something like that?
Hell no.
Why not? I'm curious. I'm curious down. Because of South Oak Cliff?
Whew.
It's a tough conversation.
Listen. I have been raised around black people all my life. All my life. I've been
Okay.
You had to fight all your life.
I understand black people. Some of the people that I used as mentors were black families that showed me that you really can live well and be black. Some of us have never really seen it. We don't, unless it's an athlete, we don't really see it as much as we should.
That's something Sean sent me earlier. Shout out to Sean Saunders, sent me a great video earlier. Go ahead.
I've never had a desire as an adult to live in an all-black neighborhood. Just never had it. I've been around it all my life as a kid. So I just don't have the desire. You say, what now? He said, what?
He said a 500,000 K for 6,000 square foot in South Dallas or a 3,000 square foot home in Frisco. Which one will increase in value with the market?
Frisco.
Frisco.
If the market is never interrupted, that is true. But if we got a bunch of people moving down to South Dallas and doing that,
South Dallas doesn't have the services, the access to
but I'm not talking about what is. I'm talking about what can be. Buckhead at one time didn't have that. And then suddenly, 30 years later, they did.
No, see, I understand what you're saying. Buckhead to me is a lot more like a Highland Park or a University Park.
Okay.
It's not far out from the city. So they still have access to city life. You still have access to city life in DeSoto or in Duncanville. You do.
Very true.
But you got to go through so much shit to get to the nice areas.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't want to do is pay $500,000 to ride through dilapidated areas. Now that may sound bougie, but that's a reality of people that have money to spend. They're going to spend it where they feel that this is the norm. I don't want to take my money and put it in a cove, area, and everything else around it is dilapidated. Because I understand that my money won't grow until the area around me grows.
Mm-hmm.
See, where I live, I smile every day because I understand of the growth that's going on around where I live.
Mm-hmm.
But that growth is not being led or championed by black people. It's being championed by whites.
Right. So how do you push the money south? It's difficult. It's difficult.
It's difficult.
The reason why the money came to Frisco, in part, there was two things that happened. There was a developer called Hall. His last name is Hall, Hall. He's a billionaire here in Dallas. He built an office park in Frisco when there was nothing else in Frisco. It is a huge art deco office park in Frisco.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the first one to do it? Well, the corporation started coming because the land was cheap. Nothing else was out here. Cows, horses, ranches. So the people started coming and putting their businesses in the office park. Well, because of that, Jerry Jones saw that there was a need for those high-paid people, those corporations to have homes. So Jerry Jones built Starwood. Still one of the richest, if not the richest neighborhood in all of Frisco.
Starwood?
Starwood.
That would sound about right.
Oh, yeah. It's the Star. Yeah, it's because of the Star. Starwood. So that type of development, once billionaires come into a neighborhood, people want to be around that development. And that's what happened with Cowboy headquarters that moved to Frisco. And that's what's happening with the PGA that's moving to Frisco. People want to be around. So how do you get that type of money to go south and say that people want to be around it and start developing? You building a house down south won't do it. It takes businesses to do it. Homes won't do it. Businesses have to do
But
it.
we need Robert Smith to do it, or like we said earlier, TD Jakes to do it.
It takes development, businesses. Just building a house and now I got to get in my car and drive back to town is not enough. I want to be able to live and work in my area. I don't want to have to drive back into downtown.
Right. And I completely and totally get that. That's ultimately what I was, I guess, essentially saying. If we had 50 families and businesses developing out in that area, could we just create a new place? Now, under those scenarios, would you do it, Jay?
Are you determined to get me to say I want to live around black people?
Well, listen, you want to see the black family and the black father do better.
I mean, you done said, would you eat it on a plane? How about on a train?
I'm trying to get him down there, man.
How about with some sauce?
We need black fathers and examples. We don't have to go to the hood and be without the hood.
You just would you, could you?
Some of us have to be the example that we want to see. That's essentially what we're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
This doesn't work unless we become the example we want to see.
I am the example I want to see.
Yeah, but can't nobody see your ass in Frisco.
Yes, they can.
Only on this podcast, they want to see him.
No,
in
I'm
Frisco.
saying, why not?
Because he's got to be doing this from the example becomes so much stronger and so much more viable if we say and champion what we're saying and doing right now from that area. Now it's not just theory. Now we're living it. Now they're saying, man, Lloyd and Derek and Stephon and all them, man, they all live in the area called Black World. And Black World has got development, and this is where the Mavericks play now. That's where they practice, and this is where you listen. We've created real change in that area, and it's ran by or led by a community of predominantly black or all black people.
Mm.
Read Stephon's comment there.
We already put Stephon's comment up. You
read it.
You read it. We've read it.
Oh, okay.
I'll be happy to read.
He's talking about Jamaicans.
He is.
That lived in Miami and New York.
Yes.
And then
he said his friend didn't want to be around niggas. Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't say it like that. He didn't say
want to be around all those Jamaicans.
Jamaicans is what he said. Yes.
Hey.
I know Jamaicans that feel the same way right now. Why is it though? Why is it? Is it a mentality because we've been told that we're not good enough, that we're not our dollar is not as valued as their dollar? What? Why don't we want to be around too many?
Listen, I said earlier in the show, I'm part of the problem. I am part of the problem because I don't necessarily want to be around crime-riddled, drug-infested, hood-ass shit all the time. I don't want that. And that's part of the problem. I get it. I know what I'm saying. But I would like to see it change. I think I want my hood in doses.
Wow.
I want, like, this is as much hood as I want right here. I want us to be able to have this and eat some good food that we love and still keep it, you know.
Here's another problem with living around successful black people. Now, y'all bear with me now.
Uh-oh.
I know what I'm talking about, but too many of us, once we do make it, we become pretentious.
That's true.
And there's nothing worse than a pretentious ass Negro that done forgot where you come from.
Oh, my.
There's nothing worse to me.
Nothing worse.
Because you've made it all about you and your success. I did it. Why can't they do it?
Oh.
Right.
I have no tolerance for people like that.
Okay.
Those are the Clarence Thomases of the world.
Wow.
The J.C. Watts of the world. Yeah. Alan West of the world.
Oh, my.
Those type people.
Wow.
Alan West.
You can, no matter where you move, I can live in Alaska and my black ass still gonna fry fish and play spades. Some of us forget where we come from, and then you're not very neighborly when you do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pretension in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Not all, but there's a lot of it.
Is it problematic to the whole?
Oh yeah, I think absolutely, absolutely. Because now you start to look down on the rest. You can never become so successful as a black person that you look down on another black person. Now I know I joke a lot, talk a lot of crap, but I will never do that.
So we can count on you.
There, but for the grace of God goes I.
So we can count on you to help us develop this new South Dallas black community where we eat fish, play spades, and build together.
Hell, I'm gonna barbecue this weekend. I'm still black. I'm gonna barbecue my ass off to this weekend.
You didn't answer my question. Can we count on you to make this move?
Oh, some good barbecue and spades, boy.
This guy.
A couple of cold ones. Oh,
This guy.
Butt naked with some blue blockers.
This guy. I'm gonna start calling him Morpheus because he be ducking the Matrix like this.
He do be like, don't even try.
Yeah, you gonna move into the black community? Whoa!
When we become successful, we make our success about us, and that's problematic.
Okay, so we can count on you. Then put your name down.
Oh my gosh!
You won't have to deal with the niggas. We'll deal with that. We'll
oh my gosh!
Matter of fact, we'll put a fence up and put everything on the other side of the fence, so that you got the grocery store, your post office, your skating rinks, and all that stuff.
Your skating rinks. I can't with you, sir.
I'm trying to help you, Jay. All right.
I love my people, black people.
You don't want to be around them.
That's not the way you should say that.
What way is there to say it? Is there a better way to say it? Okay, you know what? You're right. There is a better way to say it. Let me pull up the better way right now.
Read the hard comment.
What are you talking about now?
Just read. He knows what he's talking about.
Most days you say he don't know what he's talking about.
Wow.
Sometimes he's full of shit.
Boy, y'all.
They more concerned about being seen doing something than actually doing something. Oh, yeah.
Very true. There's some very pretentious people in Atlanta.
So are you going to help us? You still ain't answered the question.
You know, my mission is very simple in life.
You said you fish and play spades, what you said.
No, he said mute and moderate.
I'm going to do my best to impact my circle.
Of very few.
That's my mission. Do
the
my
select
best to impact my circle. You know, full disclosure. Let's talk for a second.
Oh, look out.
What you're saying, I like. Because a lot of what I do as a dad, as a man, is seen by Wahites and not by black people.
Okay.
And I actually get praise and, about what a great dad I am and what a good job I'm doing. That comes from Wahites because they see it.
They say, golly, it's a black man doing it.
It would be more beneficial if it was seen by more blacks.
That's what I'm saying, Jay.
I do believe that. I do believe that. Which is why I discussed some things on the show, because it needs to be more common than what it is.
Amen.
All it takes is deliberation, determination, and sacrifice. That's all it takes.
So we can count on you. So we can count on you to make this move.
We as a people that's doing good, need to allow that to be seen by more of us.
Okay, so it's official. There you go.
Too many of us see the bad.
Yes. Yes.
Whether it's the media or
yes.
whoever you want to blame it on.
Yes,
too
preacher.
many of us see the bad elements of us.
Yes, preacher. Yes, sir. Come on, preacher.
See the good in us.
Come on, preacher.
Real talk now. This is real talk.
This is real talk. It's real. This is real.
So I agree that it would be more beneficial if more seen.
Yes.
But the flip side of that is,
here it comes.
Even if more saw it, many ninjas have a way of putting their mouth on what you're doing to try to tear you down just because that's where they are.
Well, guess what? We ain't worried about them. We just glad that you moving down there to help build this amazing new experience.
You have to have a real strong core.
This guy.
If you ever want to truly impact black people, you have to have a strong core. Because I'm telling you something, we will kick against and fight against. Just look at, hold on, Mama. I'm sorry, Mama. Just look at before all the allegations really came out. Mr. Norris, don't shake your head. Before all the allegations came out, look at what Bill Cosby was trying to do for black people.
Mm-hmm.
How he was speaking up and saying, we have to do better as a people. The man wasn't wrong.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Did black folks really accept what he was saying?
Mm.
No.
When I'm listening to Jay, all I can hear is the voice of Eddie Murphy say, not if Jesus was pouring.
You get on my nerves.
I ain't heard him officially say yet. I'll be there when.
Jay,
when
will you give me a cup of coffee? Not if Jesus was pouring.
Maybe he just needs some time to settle it into his spirit. I think he's almost there.
I'm not.
But it's like a preacher accepting their true call to the ministry. He got to get woke up in the middle of the night by the Lord's.
What? Like, don't you speak that on me, Ricky Bobby.
I'm not moving. Period.
We need you, Jay.
Period.
No.
You heard what he said.
There's too much money to be made right now. There's too much.
It's too what?
Too much money to be made.
You can make the money from wherever you are.
I mean, in property value. It's too much.
Oh my goodness.
He said, "What the Sam Hill?"
Listen, I once again, I understand what you're saying, but I will once again say that really has to happen at a state level. I'm sorry, city level, county level, supported by tax structures that would allow businesses to come. Once businesses come, then people build around those businesses. It takes a deliberate effort from government to partnership with the private sector to bring businesses into an area.
Mm-hmm.
No businesses come to Frisco, Plano West. No businesses come.
What was that?
Watch out, watch out.
You try to throw a little extra on that.
No business has come without tax benefits from that local county, that local city.
You don't think these people want to give tax benefits to these businesses? Somebody's got to be willing to do it, though, Jay.
It's not a deliberate plan and effort to bring those businesses into that area. It's not.
Yet.
Now listen. One of the things they are doing in South Dallas, I will say this. If you drive down there off of 20, off of 35 South and 45 South, you'll see a whole lot of manufacturing going on. You see a whole lot of warehouses.
Your co-pastor said he all in.
A whole lot of trucking companies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that going on down there, y'all. Seriously.
Your co-pastor said he's in.
You have to be more deliberate to bring corporate businesses in.
You see how your co-pastor said he was in?
And
you missed that?
You block
Yeah,
off
he missed
an area. You block off an area to make this now the new corporate headquarters magnet for South Dallas.
There you go. So
if you get that, you can do the type of development you're talking about.
Okay. So your co-pastor said he's in. You keep ducking the issue. Your co-pastor said he's in.
I know what I answered your question.
Y'all can move the church down to that area.
Just didn't like my answer. I ain't going no damn where.
Oh my goodness.
I tell you.
Not doing it.
Tomorrow we got another Black Friday. Another beautiful Black Friday. Maybe by then, Cuz will get on board with packing up and helping to get some things going to the south of Dallas. Or wherever this Black community is going to develop. It don't have to be Dallas. It could be wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas has a Black mayor. Young man.
Yeah, he's still there, ain't he?
I'm not sure why that type of statement was offered up, but okay.
I mean, he's the one in Plano. We was hurried up trying to get his tail out of here while he was up there trying to camp out at the mansion while we in the middle of a pandemic.
Let it go, Mama Noise.
Let the judge come out talking. We like, sir, aren't you the mayor? What is happening right now?
Let it go. Let it go. It's over.
The structure of Plano government is different. The power,
it sure was.
The power structure is different. Anyway, Dallas has a Black mayor that's from Dallas. His number one goal, other than protection of people, the citizens' safety, his number one goal should be to be working his ass off. Him and his city manager need to be working their ass off to get corporations to move to South Dallas.
Okay.
That's the only way it's ever going to happen.
Well, does he live there? Agree. Does the mayor live in South Dallas?
Probably not.
I bet
no takers? You don't think he lives?
I bet you he lives in Oak Cliff. I bet you does. It's a nice area in Oak Cliff, y'all.
I'm not sure the mayor's mansion is in Oak Cliff.
Probably not.
You think the mayor has a mansion?
Well, I mean, where we came from, the governor has a mansion. The
mayor doesn't.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the mayor ain't in your average everyday house apartment.
Right. Guarantee you.
Does he live in?
Guarantee you. He's down there with Tony Evans, who lives in Oak Cliff, and some of them other wealthy preachers that's down there. I bet you he's in that area down there. Oak Cliff, nice areas.
Just not for you to live in, though. Not leaving Frisco.
Your black ass down there. Why you keep coming to me?
I'm trying to build something. I'm trying to get me, you, Derek, and all of us go down there and build something.
Okay, let me just tell you right now, Derek's wife is not going down there.
She might.
Nope.
How far is Derek from that area? Where's Derek?
Oh, Derek lives up here.
Okay.
For now.
Okay.
Okay.
They are from down there, aren't they?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. No. Not at all. To be continued. I still have to work on y'all a little bit longer. So
well, you wasting your time with me. Nobody else.
Let's get ready for tomorrow. That's it. We just got Black Friday tomorrow, and then we'll get into all the other stuff on the weekend tomorrow. Because you got any parting thoughts? Opal is resting. She's resting well.
He's out.
I guess he had to go.
Yeah.
She made it home and she's resting.
Mm-hmm.
I have a neighbor.
Is she running today?
We had a storm came through, the little cold snap.
Yeah.
Some neighbors out there, they chipping the putting the branches through the wood chipper.
Oh wow, okay.
Heard all this noise, and I was like, "What the hell going on?"
What's going on? Yeah, it's cold out there. It's cold here today.
Is it?
It's pretty chilly.
Google says he lives in Oak Cliff. I know it. I'm sure he does.
The mayor?
Yep, I'm sure he does.
Hmm.
There's areas down there, y'all. Get in your car.
Real nice, like them houses out by the airport.
Get in your car and go ride.
Here's what we need to do. We need to go ride together and scout the land
You got to go over
and
there
see where we're going to build our new black community at.
You got to go over there by what's the hospital name?
Parkland.
No. Well, Parkland kind of been. It's a lot of gentrification going on over there at Parkland.
Yes.
But no, down there. What's that big hospital down there off of 30?
Baylor. Is it a Baylor?
Methodist.
Oh, okay.
Go ride down through there, y'all. Put some gas in the car. Go for a ride.
What I'd like to do is for us to go together and
Oak Cliff.
for what I like to do. I've been down Oak Cliff. I know it well. What I'd like to do is for us to go down together and scout the land and figure out where we're gonna put this new community. Cause
you know Oak Cliff so well. What you been doing? Creeping.
I used to do recruiting all over.
Oh, I thought you was creeping.
No, I don't creep. I'm a faithful black man. Black men don't cheat.
Creep.
No. Black men don't cheat.
You know, now that I think about that, where exactly was Luther Vandross creeping off to?
No, I'm not doing that with you today. That's a Black Friday conversation.
Oh, okay.
That's a Black Friday conversation. So tomorrow, during Black Friday, we'll talk about Luther Vandross and his creeping ass. Until then, we'll save that conversation. All right. Well, thank you guys. This was fun. This was a really good conversation. Y'all got me thinking about a lot of stuff today. I tell you.
I'm sorry, I'm not in agreement with all of it.
Well, listen, that's just today, though. I got time to work on you.
Oh.
I ain't done. Because you ain't gonna come on this show and talk about the black father, the black example, and this, that, and the other, and then I don't hold your feet to the fire, partner.
Feet to the fire.
And with that being said, we will see everybody tomorrow's for another edition of the Talkin NOIZ podcast. Have a wonderful day.